Hello, I'm Amy from Mindology, and today I want to look at the transits for June. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment on my video if you like what I'm producing, and you can also go to my website for a reading. So let's look at the dates. 2nd of June, Jupiter in Taurus, it trines Pluto at 7 degrees of Capricorn, and it's going over the fixed star of Altair. So Pluto and Jupiter together, it can create an unstoppable force and sometimes an oppressive power. And depending on where it is for you, it can impact that area of life. It's a ruthless combination and it can expand the need for control. And interestingly, Jupiter has a desire for justice, and that can sometimes butt up against the mafioso style of Pluto. But I would say it has the potential to use law in order to get power over people. With Altair, this has a sudden quality to it, but it's also about accidents as well. So it's an ambitious and cutthroat star, but there's also a power struggle within this fixed star as well. The symbol of the eagle is associated with it, and of course this makes me think of America. America has its own Pluto at 6 degrees, and you know, this is enough to make an impact here as well as being active. Eclipses also cover America at the moment, but it can also be an impact to South America. And as it's in Capricorn, this is expanding the power of people in government. So there can be decisions that are made around the world that could have potential an oppressive quality to them. And you can also see a lot of government policy as well as mafia groups causing trouble. 3rd of June, K2 is in Virgo and it aspects Venus at 18 degrees of Taurus. Venus in Taurus is incredibly strong here, and it's in its own sign, it's comfortable, and that aspect from K2 can bring a sadness, a loss, or a sense of dissatisfaction. There can also be some confusion or addiction or something around indulgence as well. These two signs are related to the digestion and consumption, so there could be an overindulgence in food and drugs as well. And we must be careful in this time not to become blind to the consequences of indulgence. Don't take things for granted either. And we must remember that Venus is also going to be in the nakshatra Rohini, which is all about seduction as well. Obsession, indulgence, those are all associated with it. And one thing I can say is that K2 can be associated with mysterious things, illusion, fantasy, and you know, it can also have an element of beauty to it. Venus and Taurus are rather opulent, and Rohini is incredibly ripe and juicy. So there can be a lot of fair weather distraction around this time that I think we all have to be aware of. Is it too good to be true? And you'll need to ask yourself this question in June, especially if you have planets here. But great time for creativity. 4th of June, Mercury is conjunct Jupiter at 8 degrees in Taurus, and there is an awful lot going on in the sign of Taurus this month, and we have a very interesting combination here. And you would usually look at this and think, oh my, two benefics, this is great. However, these two planets, they just aren't friends, and they can cause problems with one another. There can be hyperbolic messages that are devious in nature. There can be a lot of talk and arguments. You know, it can affect stability, economy, and there can be problems with agriculture as well as small business. Taurus is about trade, and Mercury and Jupiter can expand whatever they take here. So it's an element of something to do with foreign trade as well. But just be careful in this time. You know, don't overestimate or oversell something, as you could lose face or appear to be deceitful. From the 4th to the 7th of June, the Sun is conjunct Venus at 20 degrees of Taurus. And depending on how you look at this, we could be looking at a very weak combust Venus or a strong Venus that is Cassimi. It's a good time to start something new that is beautiful and creative. And the Sun is about self-expression, and Venus is beauty. So, you know, jewelry that can sell very well. Music and art can be really popular at this time. And it's also very good for romance and love affairs. So if you have a planet here in your natal chart, you could find that you meet somebody, or you could have a softening of your relationships. 9th of June. K2 in Virgo, it aspects Mercury at 18 degrees of Taurus. So there could be a lot of talk about the world economy. However, both planets are reasonably strong. So as much as there's confusion in communication, we can also see a great intelligence here. And there's an opportunity for healing, which could have a positive impact on security. There can also be an avid search for the truth. And what this is asking us to do is critically view the words of others. Mercury is also a karaka for the media. So they could behave with a split personality, start infighting, or actually start speaking the truth in some cases. Although I think that's unlikely. Then we have the 11th of June. Pluto is in Capricorn and it squares Mars at 7 degrees, and this is a little bit concerning because we have Pluto sitting on that fixed star Altair and aspecting Mars, and this is a very impulsive and aggressive planet. And when you start mixing power and aggression and the star of power and disagreements with authority, you start to wonder, you know, is there going to be a protest somewhere, or is there going to be some kind of problem with authority? The sad part is that it's difficult to pinpoint where this could create a problem. But when we start to look at the leaders' chart, something very frightening is happening at 7 degrees of Aries. So Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Rishi Sunak and King Charles, they all have planets here. And they're going to be impacted by this. And my mum was saying to me the other day that she watched a British MP come out and he said that, oh, we're actually already at war with Russia, and it will come out formally in August. And despite the fact that Vladimir Putin's ascendant appears to be Libra around 9 degrees, I don't necessarily see him being pulled into this struggle, this power struggle. And then the other culprit is Xi Jinping, and I don't see anything going on with him either. So who else? Ali Khamenei, he's the leader of Iran. And he has the sun at this position, and that doesn't particularly bode well, because, you know, Iran has a little bit of a contrasting view to the West, and, you know, there's a potential for violence with Mars and Pluto, or even some kind of abuse of power. Pluto does rule nuclear, so there could be some kind of threats or something happening like that. But I really do hope that the US government doesn't play the old record of weapons of mass destruction again. But hopefully this will just be raised voices and nothing serious. But thank you so much for watching today. I do hope that it doesn't kick off too much in June. This month doesn't have very many aspects. The last aspect major aspect I can see is the 11th of June. So, you know, the first part of the month may be quite intense, but hopefully when we move into the next month, we will start to see a little bit of calming here, but we'll look at that when we come to it next month. Thank you very much. Bye.